The Tesla Model Y sold out, Tesla's new feedback system, a solid-state battery coming to market in a new car, and more. Let's get into it. First up today, over at Tesla, they've launched a new feedback system. As a Tesla customer, you now have the ability to fill out a form and select an area of concern. These include service, sales, delivery, insurance, robotaxi, supercharging, energy, vehicle, FSD, and other. They say specifically, quote, "We value your experience and want to make things right. Please describe any issues you've encountered or share your suggestions below. Include relevant details such as when the problem occurred and any steps you've already taken. Your feedback helps us improve our service for everyone." This is a feature that Tesla will also be adding within their mobile app quite soon here. Now, I know the feedback that I'm going to submit that I somehow don't hear about too often from customers is that my car will not connect to Wi-Fi until I restart my car. Every time I need a new software update, it says in the app, "Connect to Wi-Fi to download." I restart the car, and then it downloads. I've only actually had this issue with their latest cars, the Model 3 refresh, Cybertruck, and new Model Y. It won't connect to my home Wi-Fi, it won't connect to third-party Wi-Fi, it won't work tethering from my phone, nothing works. And then all of a sudden, without moving the car, I restart it, and it reconnects. I reported this to service probably about a year ago on my Model 3, and they simply said it would be fixed with a software update, and of course it hasn't been. But I'm curious, do you have an issue like this that you want to submit to Tesla? Leave a comment below to let me know your thoughts, and hopefully this is something that works well so that customer feedback can really be received in a good, direct way. Until now, it seems that a lot of customer feedback is just customers replying to tweets from Elon, and then Elon happening to see them and responding. Hopefully this will be much better. Next up today, let's talk about the Model Y and the fact that this car is now selling out. The Model Y has had a very interesting curve this past year. In Q1, Tesla sales were down. They delivered 323,800 Model 3s and Ys. They largely blamed this on the Model Y changeover and said, quote, "While the changeover of Model Y lines across all 4 of our factories led to the loss of several weeks of production in Q1, the ramp of new Model Y continues to go well." Then Q2 was up from there, but still lower than many expected. They just weren't growing as many were hoping. They sold 373,728 Model 3s and Ys, with the refresh at that point fully ramped. Now during this period and the last couple of months, inventory has been widely available. For Q2 specifically, I would check and almost any trim was available for delivery the same day. But now things are changing because of something out of Tesla's hand, the disappearing federal tax credit. The federal tax credit is expiring after September 30th. That's the last day to get it, and you must take delivery of your car by that day. This is a big $7,500 discount for many customers that is entirely going away after this. So Tesla is advertising this big time. $7,500 federal tax credit ending, limited inventory, take delivery now is what it says on their website. This is functioning as the best incentive that Tesla could actually offer to drive sales. It's better than free supercharging, low interest rates, or anything, or at least it's functioning better for them to get sales. Now, people have been reporting on inventory lowering over the past few days. On top of that, wait times in Tesla's configurator say 4 to 5 weeks for certain areas. That's getting into the territory where you could miss the deadline here. So naturally, if you're trying to take delivery before then, you should. Many people are now realizing this. But as a matter of fact, in some areas, the Model Y is officially sold out. Here's an example of none being available in the Los Angeles area. Then, near me in Los Angeles today, there are only 2 available, and then 1 demo vehicle. And these are only the upgraded all-wheel drive trim with specific options. So if you're hoping for rear-wheel drive, that's entirely gone. Then when we look in areas like Austin, Texas, there's absolutely nothing available. And you'd expect that to be an area with a decent amount of inventory, considering Tesla's factory is right there. Now, this is also clearly showing that people favor the Model Y over the Model 3, because there are plenty of Model 3s available, and Tesla even has some other incentives for that car specifically. But for areas like this, the only way to get one of these cars, at least a Model Y, is to configure it and get in line. This is a huge change from just a couple of months ago, before that EV tax credit deadline was announced. It will likely go back and forth like this over the next month, where some inventory will be there and then absolutely none, and maybe only 1 or 2 cars pop up, and then it goes back to 0. But Tesla will keep rolling with production as much as they can at Fremont and Giga Texas. However, this whole time, people will keep taking advantage of this deal, and inventory will keep selling out. Also, Tesla isn't actually going to put cars into their inventory if they're sitting on a backlog of orders. They're, of course, going to fill those orders first with these cars, and then probably offer the option to customers to change to a different configuration to make sure they can take delivery before the tax credit ends. Now, just because the tax credit is ending doesn't mean they have gotten rid of all incentives, but soon they might do that and actually raise the prices on their cars. Tesla still has the American Heroes discount, a free FSD transfer, and other small things. Then for the Model 3, there's 0% financing if your order is placed by September 1st, which is coming up in just a couple of days. They also offer $299 per month as a starting lease price there, and $699 a month as a starting lease price for the Performance Model 3. For the Model Y, leasing starts at $399 a month, and then they're offering 3.99% APR financing for 60 months. But Raj at Tesla, who has been commenting on all of this, said, quote, trending toward a need to expedite output even further, which could mean adjusting pricing upward in the coming days. Trying hard not to, we'll see. So if nothing else, it's very clear. If you are planning to get one of these cars, there is nothing to wait for. Inventory is probably going to keep being very low or entirely sold out like this. You might not get the option that you want for this car, or you'll miss the federal tax credit entirely if you're planning for that and you qualify. Or worse, you'll actually see a price increase as a result of waiting. However, per usual, it is tough. Q4, we do expect a more affordable version of this car, and we've seen leaks about this, and Tesla has communicated that it will be coming. Now, I expect at first, at least, Tesla may get a little sneaky with this and offer something similar to the Lux package that they now include by default with the Model S and X and the Cyber Beast. But ultimately, it should come with a price drop in time on the Model Y, a cheaper option that some may have wished that they waited for. But you truly can never know. In any case, if you're interested in one of these cars, it is worth checking your particular area, because you might see this car is entirely sold out, and then tomorrow, maybe one pops up, or maybe it stays sold out. There are all these considerations at hand always with Tesla and the market and how things are changing, but as always, my advice is, if Tesla is offering a car with features you like today at a price that you're comfortable with, you can't really go wrong. Yes, maybe 6 months or a year down the line, you'll see a new option that you wish you could have, but Tesla is always doing this, so you'll pretty much always be waiting. For now, if you're dead set on getting this car, it's a no-brainer to put that order in and be checking their inventory page because things are selling out. Next up today, when it comes to the future of Tesla, their Robotaxi network is a huge part of their plans, especially in the United States. In fact, Elon Musk has communicated that they may not ever bring the Model Y/L to market in the United States because of autonomy and the Robotaxi. However, Austin, Texas is the only place that the Robotaxi is truly operating in its self-driving form. Now, technically, functionally, it might actually be operating about the same over in the Bay Area. But in Austin, there's a safety monitor in the passenger seat, and they're expecting that car to perform correctly. It's called a Robotaxi network. In the Bay Area, it's a different story. They only refer to this as a rideshare network. Arash at Minimal Duck made a great video of it, and it still is impressive to see this operating in the Bay Area. But I find it very interesting just how much this particular safety monitor in the driver's seat is nearly holding the wheel the entire time. I don't even hold the wheel this much when I'm using full self-driving. So we'll see how that expansion works there. This may have just been an extra cautious safety monitor. In any case, the big thing with the Robotaxi from Tesla is supposed to be that they can expand quickly, and Tesla has kept this going. Here's their latest expansion. It's now covering a far larger area than previously, and it's much larger than Waymo's geofence over in Austin, Texas at the same time. Now, an apples-to-apples comparison right there doesn't entirely work because Waymo is operating with nobody in the front of the car, but it is worth looking at still, since Waymo has been operating for so long at this point. Tesla has talked a lot of talk, and people are comparing this to a network where nobody is behind the wheel. But when we look at Waymo's timeline, they started in geofenced areas in 2017 with human drivers fully present. It wasn't until 2019, about 2.5 years later, that they began offering rides with nobody from the company within the car. And they still, of course, can monitor remotely. Now, of course, this is also a timeline that's 6 years ago, but still it's an important part of the step to keep in mind. And Tesla's approach is quite different. They're covering a much larger area quicker with the safety monitor. So the biggest milestone will truly be once there isn't anybody in there. I'm excited to see when that happens. In any case, if you're in Austin and have Robotaxi access, I'll be there on September 8th and 9th on tour with Jeff Goldblum's band. I'm playing drums. We're playing on the 9th in Austin, and I'd love to ride along in a Robotaxi if possible. Next up today, solid-state batteries have been a lot of the big talk regarding EV batteries for the future. And the new MG4 EV from SAIC is the first production car with a semi-solid-state battery, and it is now approved for sale over in China. This battery is developed by, pardon my pronunciation, Suzhou Xingtao, using a manganese-based lithium-ion semi-solid-state design that blends liquid electrolyte with solid components for higher safety and energy density. That's really the best part about solid-state batteries. It still uses a 120 kilowatt front motor, which is the same as other MG4s, and their current packs are 42.8 kilowatt hours and 53.9 kilowatt hours. So the details of this semi-solid state pack are supposed to be coming sometime in September. Pre-orders are already open for this particular car, and then final pricing will also be announced in September, but we know that trim options include comfort, ease, freedom, and smart, with extras like a 360-degree camera and tinted roof. I'm very curious to see what this becomes because it seems a little bit like a middle ground between the current batteries that we have and that long future of solid-state batteries that people have been talking about for quite some time. It also seems like a car that's actually coming to market, which is a big deal since solid-state batteries have been a lot of talk with no actual production for quite some time. That's all the latest Tesla tech and EV news for today. So in the meantime, if you want to see the latest for a new Tesla prototype that was spotted at their factory, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.